Hello, Music Multiverse listeners. It's time to go to war. Album Wars 2026 tonight. It's a battle of Canadian greats, songwriting legends, incredible diehard performers whose voices are incredible. They are recognizable, one of them world over, covered by all kinds of artists within their country, outside their country, at really bad karaoke, revered in their country. Yes, their country. They both come from the same country. And the other one, kind of gets a little bit more accolade because of certain things. This is a battle of male Canadian singer songwriter. Album delivers one from a prestigious Canadian 80s rock band, AOR meets kind of a prog side. And then in the other, a Canadian hitmaker that turned pretty much the U.S. on its head at a certain point in time. So I'm going to start with, obviously, Tom Cochrane. He was of Red Rider. He was the singer, songwriter, guitarist, and okay, ready? Canadian Songwriter Hall of Fame, Canadian Music Hall of Fame, inductee in 2003. We're not talking yesterday. He's been in the Hall of Fame over there for 20 plus years. Order of Canada, Canada's Walk of Fame in September of 2009, which was actually hosted by Anne Murray. And that event included Kim Cattrall, Blue Rodeo. We'll talk about them sometime. Howie Mandel and some others. I got an honorary colonel. I don't know how you get that one. But he actually got his second flight in a CF-18. No, he's not trained like our boy from Mission Impossible. Canadian Music Industry Humanitarian Award. This is the one of these things that these two gentlemen really have in common. Huge humanitarians and big time. So that happened. Alan Waters Humanitarian Award in 2013. The Henry H. Knowles Humanitarian Award in 2014, which is the OPSCEU. Good luck finding out what that means. Order of Manitoba in 2015. So the other guy is obviously Bryan Adams, who has all of those awards that I just mentioned on top of the following. 20 Junos among 56 nominations and 15 Grammy nominations, including his only win. Do you know what that's for? It's the best song for a motion picture television
Probably
sound 1992.
Robin Hood.
That spirit of the whatever.
Oh, oh, Spirit the Horse.
Spirit Stallion Spirit. I don't know.
I saw that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is insane considering all the number one hits he's had.
It was a big movie for the
Yeah, three
millennials.
times he's been nominated for the Academy Award. And now I digress for a moment. In one of the most pitiful moments in Oscar history, he lost for Everything I Do for You, which was played at weddings around the world for years. But who does he lose to? Beauty and the Beast. Play that at a wedding. Disney can kiss my ass every time. Can't stand it. Pisses me off. It made my Oscar experience awful that year. It's one of the greatest songs ever written for motion picture. And the movie itself, but hey, come on. It's Michael Kamen and Bryan Adams. Could it get any better? I don't think so. All right, back on. Yes, Golden Globe nominations. He was nominated for that in 2007 for songwriting for Bobby, which was done by Aretha Franklin and Mary J. Blige. So he's got this rock, blues, even soul persona. Order of the British Columbia, Order of Canada, philanthropical foundations, philanthropical awards up the yin yang, and a photographer. Tonight, we go to war between Tom Cochrane and Bryan Adams. And joining me on the panel tonight, the only thing that looks good on her is me, Susie Q. Yeah, all right. He's waking up the neighbors every time he comes back from the shows on Main Street, Steve Scouten. So I'll let the panelists kind of get into how they know both artists, and then we'll get to this war. But they'll be picking 5 albums from each. Now, Tom Cochrane's got the Red Rider catalog in with this as well, so that he can go out. I mean, obviously, this is a tall order because it's Bryan Adams, but at one point in the 90s, the two both had number one songs and number one albums in Canada, and were battling it out to see who was going to win the Juno for that year. That was Waking Up the Neighbors versus Tom Cochrane's Mad Mad World. So we'll see where we go from there. Susie Q, kick us off.
Okay. So it was this year that I learned Brian was spelled with a Y instead of an I. I guess I have his t-shirt. I never paid attention. So, but
There's no Y in I.
yeah. So actually was trying to go to see a show if I could get a ticket that didn't cost $100. Um,
Yeah, 14th, something like that.
August. It's in August.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so let's see. For me, I love both artists. Um, Interestingly enough, I think it's I know more, I've definitely heard more of Bryan Adams over the years. Um, when I think of Bryan Adams, I think of Bryan Adams though, and all I think of is Bryan Adams and his voice. Whereas with Tom Cochrane, I think of Tom Cochrane and Red Rider, and I think I appreciate Tom Cochrane's voice, but I also enjoy the band. And I guess it's not fair to Bryan Adams' bandmates, but for me, that's just kind of how the sounds land. Bryan Adams is always kind of a more like, you know, a sing-along kind of thing. He would come on and you're up and dancing and singing. And Tom Cochrane is something you could kind of kick back and like relax and listen to, I guess. I don't know. But so I'm doing Bryan and Adams albums first or
You can start with Tom Cochrane.
with Tom Cochrane. Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I hope I I hope I cut them all down. All right. So I'm gonna do my number five. I don't even know if I'm saying this right, but Neruda.
Ruda.
Um I really like Napoleon Sheds His Skin a lot. There were a few of these albums that were really hard to like go because there was like a standout song on each one. Um, it always makes it hard. I went with number four. I went with As Far As I Am. That one came out in 1981 with, of course, Lunatic Fringe.
Mm-hmm.
My number three, I went with Tom Cochrane and Red Rider, 1986. Um, it gets, a little bit harder from here on up. Number two, I did Victory Day, 1988. I love every song on that one. And number one, Mad Mad World, 1991. Probably not a shocker. Or maybe, I mean,
It'll be different for some people, I
if you
think.
look, I mean, I didn't really catch his early work, so that's where I came into it.
Okay. And then on your Bryan Adams side.
Bryan Adams, I went number five, Into the Fire. That was 1987. Number four, 18 Till I Die. That was 96. Um, it was a good album, but I think I liked his earlier stuff more. Number three, I went with Waking Up the Neighbors. That was 1991. That had Everything I Do It For You on it. Um, Number two, I went with Reckless, 1984. Um, and number one, Cuts Like a Knife, 1983. Uh, Still an awesome album. Um, and Spirit, I heard that when I was traveling, I think in Texas for the first time. I just saw that movie. That was one of Kayla's favorite movies, so it's the first time I recognized that song, Spirit.
Yeah, Spirit. Yeah, maybe the song is Spirit, and it's like Spirit. I
It's good. It's a cute movie
yeah.
too.
Well, one Academy Award for Best Animated Movie, I'm pretty sure, too.
Yep.
Steve Scouten, where are you?
Williamsville, New York.
All right.
Um, yeah, so this is interesting. Tom Cochrane, I got to know more with Red Rider, and then he kind of, I don't know if I went away or he went away. One of us exited stage left for a while, and then all of a sudden, I'm getting out of college, and who do I find? Tom Cochrane again. Like, where did you go?
Mhm.
So I'll start with him.
Was it
Um,
Catman Joe? Where did you go?
yeah, where the hell did you go? Number five for me was X-Ray Sierra, from '98. Kind of a later '90s, kind of a change up for him. You know, there was, I found it bluesy.
Mhm.
Um, there's some pretty decent bluesy type songs on it, just like Ali. Um, a real nice hook in that song. Willie Dixon said is really blues lean. Which it would be because it's Willie Dixon.
Yep.
But pretty good listen, all things told. Four for me, similar to Sue, was Neruda. Um, you know, again, pretty prog leaning, as you talked about earlier with Red Rider. Um, Human Race, they're one of their bigger ones. Power, Strength, and Numbers
Mm.
is on that album. Real good. Three for me was Ragged Ass Road. Um, Kind of came off what is arguably the solo Tom Cochrane staple, but has some pretty decent ones. Wildest Dreams is a really decent tune, and Crawl is one I really liked. Having listened back to it, during the weekend. Number two for me was as far as Siam, Red Rider, with Lunatic Fringe. Also, Cowboys in Hong Kong on that album was real decent. It's the Red Rider album. I mean, if you're picking a Red Rider album, that's the one that you'd hand to a friend to say, "Here's how you know him."
Hmm.
And number one for me is Mad Mad World. It was Cochrane's coming out party for his solo career, really. Um, you can't really turn on the television without hearing a commercial that has "Life is a Highway" on it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's doing pretty well with residuals. Mad Mad World is a great tune as well.
Mhm.
Really like that. Um, so yeah, that's Tom Cochrane in a nutshell. Then I venture on to basically Canadian royalty. Not that both of them aren't, but if you were a kid of the '80s like me, Canadian music was Rush and Bryan Adams. Um, those were the two that were standouts, unless you'd stole your parents' Gordon Lightfoot album. But I'd go number five for me was "You Want It, You Got It" from '81, because "Straight from the Heart" was really my introduction to Bryan Adams. You heard it at every middle school dance. Um, yeah,
It's
that's
true.
where, like it was the "Who's this guy? He's got a solid voice." Uh, that Bryan Adams. So then I work on to my number four is "Into the Fire" from 1987, which was kind of a diversion from Reckless. Tried to go in a little different direction. Love Heat of the Night. Great tune. So's Into the Fire. It is. It was a marked statement from Reckless where it wasn't going to be that album. And Reckless, which we'll get to here in a second, obviously, was such a gigantic, I mean, enormous album. It was kind of good on Adams to kind of go a little different direction here. If you look at if you look at the bulk of his career, and that's why for me that was number four. Number three for me is 1991's "Waking Up the Neighbors." This album for him, if Reckless didn't do it, this one did. This made him maybe a worldwide superstar with "Everything I Do for You." I mean, that song was enormous. "Can't Stop This Thing We Started," another super tune, and "Thought I Died and Gone to Heaven" is another solid one on there. Um, yeah, just a real, real, real good album. Um, then Not as much of a coin flip for me, though I love both of these albums. Number two for me is Cuts Like a Knife. The title track, obviously, but this time and straight from the heart, songs I essentially grew up with. I was a freshman in high school when this came out, and you couldn't go 15 feet or whether it was in a gym locker room or a high school dance without hearing this album. Just fantastic, and everybody not old enough for 8 tracks, so everybody had it on cassette. So yeah, great album. And obviously for me, number one is Reckless. It just enormous. It made him a super. I mean, six hit singles, 12 million copies. Um, it's the definitive, in my opinion, Brian Adams album. Um, the songs that Kids Wanna Rock is on that album, and that could have stood on its own. And
Yeah, and that didn't get popular until it was live version.
Heaven, Somebody, Run to You, Summer of '69. Which again, have you gone to an athletic event where that song doesn't get played?
Right.
At some point during this night, they start all I gotta do is hear the guitar, everybody sings along. So yeah, great album. Good head to head with these two. Um, yeah, this is gonna be fun to try to rank them.
Yeah, get him in the
Get them
order,
in the
right?
war. Yeah, this
Yep.
will be fun.
Yeah. My obviously didn't know Tom Cochrane right away, even though didn't know Tom Cochrane right away. Didn't even understand um where he was from because I didn't know Red Rider up until maybe I mean Lunatic Fringe, probably not. Then obviously he writes a song called Big League, and that's not a baseball song. It's a hockey song,
Right.
and that kind of is where my introduction comes. But yeah, when Mad Mad World hit, that was, time to go back in the catalog. Bang, 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 bang.
Yep.
Who is this guy, and why has he been forsaken? And it's funny because both of these gentlemen have a similar rasp to their
Yeah.
vocal acuity, and
That's fair to say. Yeah.
and
Mhm.
and you want to do a ballad? The ballad's there. Both of them will do it. You
Mhm.
want to do anthem? Yeah, I'll both do an anthem. You want to get heartbroken and something, and not even heartbroken, but get darker or it's hard to say because I mean that's why Into the Fire kind of fits that was a complete departure because there's not a pop junket song on there. It's all more on the rock side of stating something, and obviously Tom Cochrane has always been there.
Funny you talk about their voices. As I was going through this, I thought to myself, Brian Adams could have sang Lunatic Fringe, and Tom Cochrane could have sang Kids Wanna Rock, and
Oh,
you
that's so
probably
funny.
couldn't tell which is which because
I
that inflection's so
Yep.
similar.
It's like Freaky Friday.
It really is. You're right.
I was always like why they weren't together on a bill, why they didn't. I mean, I think
Right.
one night they did. There was something that they were together, and I don't know. I think Colin James was there as well.
Hmm.
I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that would have been something. Um, and of course, all the covers but it's just Tom is not able to do that yell that he did in the like wow man think of the guy from think of Patrick from Filter, just not as industrial. He
Sure.
could really
Sure.
let it rip. We did see him live. He opened. I mean, I would have loved to seen Tom by himself, but the only ticket we could get was here in Buffalo at Art Park, Niagara Falls Art Park, and he opened for Richard Marx.
Hmm.
And we were not there to see Richard Marx because I'd already seen him, but
Okay.
and we were there for Tom Cochrane, and I got to tell you, most of the crowd kind of was there for it too because he
Sure.
didn't play our area that often. Um, so when it comes to Tom, my number five is Neruda, like Sue's, the song, yeah, of course. But my number four is Breaking Curfew
Hmm.
from
Mm.
the Red Rider. I just, for some reason, connect to more of the songs on that record. And then my number three, Ragged Ass Road. How do you follow up Mad Mad World? I didn't think it was possible, and I can tell you right off the bat, I was not exactly smitten with the record because, just. But as I grow and grew and listened and started to appreciate more and more, the songs you mentioned are right up there in that key. Um, my number two was always going to be Victory Day. That is his Into the Fire, almost
Mm.
anthemic, a lot of good stuff. And I think this is where you started to realize that the Tom Cochrane and Red Rider is just Tom Cochrane. That band just kind of fades. Don't get me wrong. It's unfair to Red Rider and Tom Cochrane because in actuality, the live album from the Symphony Orchestra of Edmonton, I think it's Edmonton's Philharmonic or Edmonton Symphony Orchestra, um, is an absolute masterpiece. And it has all of those songs: Lunatic Fringe, Bird on a Wire, Napoleon Sheds His Skin, and all of them with a symphony. And they don't start with the symphony kind of rolls its way in, but when it rolls its way in, it's on and just fantastic, start to finish. My number one, Mad Mad World. It was going to be. It was no question. It is. I don't think any. There might be some people who might shift it out of number one to number two if they have a affinity for Red Rider
Yeah.
and that. As a matter of fact, if you to ask me, Mad Mad World, I would probably have number one. My number two would be that symphony orchestra piece as my number two. But obviously, that's not a studio album. Mad Mad World has very, very, very deep tracks on it, more so than I would say on the Bryan Adams side of things for the albums I'm going to mention, because there are just things on there like Brave and Crazy, Get Up, which is just haunting. He's yelling and screaming for somebody he loves to just stop with the drug addiction and not die. And then a political statement with All the King's Men at the end, which is just a fantastic track. And I would have loved to have heard that live, but he did not do it that particular night, but I know he does it a lot currently. All right, but going to Bryan Adams, yeah, saw Bryan, and I think he one hell of an entertainer. Oh my God, did he put on a show? He didn't care about anything, whether with he just wanted to have a ball and wanted everybody to have a ball at the concert. And he even called out some people. He goes, "Hey, you haven't moved. Are you okay?" You got to dance. You got to get out of your chair. Um, you can go home and listen to the album, he said. It's funny. And that was obviously the Waking Up the Neighbors tour, which, obviously the ticket then didn't cost $100.
Right.
Well,
My
some of
number,
them don't know either, but
what'd you say?
late. I don't think they all did this time either, but I was just late to the party.
Uh, Number five for me, I'll give 18 till I die. Fun record, catchy. Um, I was kind of torn because I wanted to give that 81 record a shot at this, and I just production wise, I don't know, maybe it's the album cover too. It's
Yeah.
it's a little bit Don Johnson-y, I don't know, or not preppy, a little preppy. That's a better
Yep.
word.
Sure.
My number four is Cuts Like a Knife. Great album. Lots of good stuff there. My number three, Into the Fire, definitely was. It had a chance for number two, but I Reckless is just so good, start to finish. A little bit consistent, not left to right, like you all of a sudden you're shocked, but still just start to finish, well produced. Every song could have been on radio, and almost all of them were. And
Mhm.
my number one is Waking Up the Neighbors.
Mm.
I don't know, just something about that record connected with me. That while 18 Till I Die is fun, this is fun but whip smart. And okay, this is where Mutt Lang did his thing correctly. The harmonies, yell outs, the overproduction fits, the idea of waking up the neighbors, blare it. We saw Afghan Wigs last night. They were a little loud for the building. Their sound was obviously they were amped up, but this album is the reason it's amped up. Everything's amped up. His vocals amped up, and then you get this incredible ballad from from a motion picture soundtrack in there too. I think is there like 17 tracks on that record? 60. There's a lot of tracks on that record, and even that's an accomplishment in itself. So those are mine, and we won't have to linger too long as to where everything is here. All right. Shame on the Bryan Adams side. It's shameful.
It's who what?
I get it. I get now I understand why Steve made his comment. This is going to be tough. I'm like, is it going to be? Oh yeah, it is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to do it.
Just going to have to be done. Thank God there was 3 because 2 would have been. It's a tie. All right. On our left bracket with Tom Cochrane, the number 1 chosen album obviously is Mad Mad World. All 3 of us have it at number 1. And at number 4, going up against it will be As Far as Siam.
Mm.
And the number 2 position was Neruda. And that will go up against Victory Day.
Mhm.
All right. And then on the Bryan Adams side, this is going to be rough. The number 1 album is Reckless, and that will go up against the number 4 record, which was Into the Fire. The number 2 record is Cuts Like a Knife. And the number 3 that it'll go against is Waking Up the Neighbors. So it kind of fits, I think. So we'll start off with Tom Cochrane's side, and we'll start with Neruda versus Victory Day. Sue, if you could start us off with your choice.
Victory Day.
Steve.
Neruda.
And I am going to go with Victory Day. It's too bad we had more people, It would have been interesting. So Victory Day will move on a 2-1 win. I don't know. Yeah, that says much. But now we'll go to Mad Mad World versus As Far as Siam. And I'll start, and I'm obviously going to be a Mad Mad World. Steve?
Same.
Sue?
Same.
Okay. So on that, we'll have Mad Mad World versus Victory Day, and we might as well go there considering how small a crowd we have on.
We're already there.
So, going to
We
Sue,
should just
Mad
read each
Mad
other's
World.
minds.
I know, exactly.
I'm reading your mind. All right. Steve?
Mad Mad World.
I'll read mine. Mad Mad World. So Mad Mad World will be the Tom Cochrane album to be at number 1. We'll move back over to the Bryan Adams bracket. I don't think it's going to be as easy.
No.
So we'll start off with number 2, number 3, Cuts Like a Knife versus Waking Up the Neighbors. Oh, I have to start this one. I am a Waking Up the Neighbors guy. Steve.
Well, ironically, these go in the same order I selected them. So this is awesome. I'm going to go Cuts Like a Knife.
Okay. And Sue.
I am also cutting.
Like a knife. Okay. And now, number 1, Reckless versus number 4, Into the Fire. Sue.
Reckless.
Steve.
Reckless.
Me. All right, we'll move up. And now that we have it, we will have Reckless. We'll now battle Cuts Like a Knife. And I'll start. I am going to be Reckless. Steve.
I am also going to be Reckless.
Sue.
I'm just gonna keep mine, but I know I've obviously lost out to Reckless, which is fine.
So your cuts.
I've been cut.
You've been cut. All right. So, gosh, if all these went as fast as this.
Got whiplash.
Yeah, it's like, did we just do this show in 6 minutes? Both of these characters deserve 60-minute shows in themselves. Okay, so at our final battle will be Tom Cochrane's Mad Mad World versus Bryan Adams' Reckless.
Oh my gosh.
And it's Sue to start us
No,
off.
really me? Oh, wow. I need a second.
It's okay. We have lots of time left.
You know, I I am gonna go with Tom Cochrane. Sorry, Bryan Adams.
I am going to write your name down when we go back to this too. That way they know we know who the voters were. Steve.
Um, I'm gonna make it difficult on you, Mark, because I'm gonna go reckless.
Oh man.
If Bryan Adams would like to send me free tickets, I might sway my mind and just putting that out there.
Be persuaded.
I could be bought easily. Um yeah, this is two fabulous albums and two different albums in their position of time. 1984 versus what, 1991.
Yep.
7 years in there. There's a lot of great singles on Reckless. A lot of those just, but my memory and my love for Mad Mad World is something different because
Mhm.
I believe, start to finish, I believe it's one of the best Canadian rock solo albums ever made. I don't know where it came from or how it came from. Steve put it best when he said, I don't know what happened. Tom Cochrane was gone.
Yeah, that's
Where did
exactly
he
what happened.
go? You
And
know?
and this is the beauty of an album more like this is there's not a wrong choice. It's just a
No,
preference choice. Like either of the like you're not picking something that's hand over fist better than the other. They're both fantastic albums, both
Yeah.
of them. So there's not a wrong.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Um,
could, for me again, like they should just both win side by side, but um I just so appreciate Tom Cochrane and um he's just so unique. The songs are
Yeah,
unique, the lyrics are unique. And Bryan Adams, like everything crushes on that album.
yeah,
And maybe it's because I heard it like it's so much more commercial.
it is.
Um,
It is.
but yeah, that's what put me over to the
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason I selected it, it's commercial and it's played all the time, but
hmm
there's a reason it is.
yeah.
You
right.
know, there's really it's because it's that good. So that was my but again, there's not a bad one. So
No. And
Yeah.
if, you're watching this and you're kind of stunned because Bryan Adams. Right now what we're telling you is maybe you should know Tom Cochrane
yeah, yeah, for
because
sure.
you might find yourself like really taken aback by the similarities, but also the ingenuity and the push that they both have for the genre of rock
Yeah.
and what they
Yeah.
bring
If
to
you're
it.
stunned by it, go find out why.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. I will thank our panelists for doing this tonight. Yes, this is the record breaking timetable for Album Wars. This will be an editor's joy. Oh, wait a minute. I'm the editor. Yeah, yeah. We're on the web at beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, obviously YouTube here. Articles, videos, podcasts, all about albums, bands, artists like these, one you really heard of and been plastered by all the time on radio, but maybe one that you're just, wait a minute, what? Did they just, yeah, it happens. Go Beyond Your Radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. As always, thanks for watching. And go Sabres. Happy
Woohoo.
listening.